Hello and welcome to the freshman registration and scheduling process for the 2021-22 school year. My name is Yvonne Kurtzels and I am one of two full-time counselors at the high school. I'm assigned to work with students' last names L through Z. Karen Ganji is the other full-time school counselor. Her caseload is students' last names A through K. And Mrs. Julie Montgomery Reese works part-time at the high school as our student success coordinator. If you have questions about scheduling for your child after this presentation, please reach out directly to your child's assigned counselor. Your child did receive a freshman registration folder, and they received this the first week of February during a classroom presentation at the middle school. You will need the contents of this folder to complete the scheduling process, so please make sure you have this folder available to view when following along with the presentation. One thing that students are often excited about is driver's education. Students that are old enough to participate in the classroom portion of driver's ed did receive an informational sheet in their freshman registration folder. The classroom portion is offered 4 times. It's on a first come, first served basis. The registration is open. It is June or July mornings or afternoons. Please make sure to check your child's band schedule or if they have any sports or work obligations and sign up for the section that works best for you. If a section is full, a waiting list will be created. If you have any additional questions, you may contact Susie Thayer in the high school counseling office. This is an overview of the requirements for graduation. Though this will not be the focus of the presentation, I do like to share this information with students and parents. This is also in the high school course book, which is a large white packet in your registration folder. It's simply for your reference. I also like to remind students and parents that your GPA and credits earned in middle school do not carry over to the high school. They start fresh and new at the high school. And lastly, I do want to point out that world or foreign language is not a requirement for graduation. There's often some confusion around this subject. It has many benefits, but it is not something required for graduation. This slide highlights what your child must take during their 9th grade year. All students take 8 credits per year. 5 of the 8 credits your child will take are required, and they have no choice in that matter. They must take 1 credit of English 9, 1 credit of world history, 1 credit of integrated science, which is a physical science, a half a credit of physical education for 9th grade, a half a credit of 9th grade health, and lastly, 1 credit of math. The 1 credit of required math has been selected for your student. This is a recommendation from their middle school math teacher. You will see this recommendation near the top right of your student's yellow registration form. If you have a concern that your child was not placed in the correct math course, please directly contact their middle school math teacher. Note that if there happen to be 2 math options on your child's sheet, it means that they may choose to take 2 math courses if they wish to do so, but it is not a requirement. One of the most exciting options when coming to the high school are elective course options and all the different areas, and also that your child or student gets to decide what elective options they will take. And they will need to pick 3 credits, and they are in the following areas. We have electives in art, agriculture, business, family consumer ed, foreign language, math, music, physical education, science, and technology and engineering. It is important to note that music is an elective. If your child is taking band, choir, or both, They must decide before taking other electives. Oftentimes, music is simply a part of a student's life, and they forget that it is something they must actually choose on their schedule. Band is worth 1 credit, choir is worth 1 credit. A student taking both band and choir will use 2 of their 3 elective credits, while a student taking band only or choir only will use 1 of their elective credits. Again, you must sign up for music on your yellow student registration form. The course book is your best tool when helping your child select classes for high school. The yellow registration form inside your child's folder lists all the classes a ninth grade student could take. The name of the course is listed along with the credit value. Courses are either worth a half credit and last a term, or they are worth 1 credit and last 2 terms or a semester. Some of the courses listed on the yellow registration form may have a prerequisite. A prerequisite means that one course must be completed before your student enrolls in another course. For example, a student must take Foods and Nutrition 1 before they may enroll in Foods 2. When your child is selecting their electives, please look up each course in the white course book to see if it has a prerequisite or not. Most electives do not have prerequisites, but we ask that you use the course book so that you may also read the description of the class to make sure that the title of the course really matches your expectations for what you will do in the class. I would also like to point out that on page 8 of the course book, you may find something called transcripted credit courses. There are a number of classes that students may take here at Amory High School and earn college credit at WITC at the same time. This is our local technical college. Please see the white course book for more information on that program. In addition to the paper copy of the course book in your child's folder, you may also find it online at the Amory High School website. Simply go to the high school page and select Course Selections and Required Courses to view the online course book. An electronic copy of the ninth grade scheduling registration form is also here as well in case you lose any of your paper materials. At the high school, we have a weighted GPA scale called the Latte grading system. This system allows students to earn more points in their GPA for taking more advanced courses. On the student registration sheet, if you see L1 behind the name of a course, it means that course will be graded on the L1 GPA scale. There are a number of Latte level courses for ninth graders to take. But as your student grows older and progresses through high school, they will have more and more Latte level options each school year. Students are not only rewarded for taking advanced courses in core areas, but there are Latte level courses in every single department at the high school. For example, if your child is interested in art, when they take a level 2 or 3 art course, those courses are on the L1 and L2 Latte GPA scale. Please see page 7 of the course book for more information on the Latte grading scale and all eligible courses. On the next slide, I'll share with you a couple GPA examples to further explain this grading system. On this slide, I am sharing with you an example of a ninth grade student that is taking 3 required classes and 1 elective. In the top example, the elective is not a Latte level course. All 4 courses are graded on a traditional 4.0 scale. In the bottom example, the elective selected for the student is an L1 course, so that course is graded on the weighted L1 GPA scale. As you can see, the example where the student takes the Latte level course, their GPA for the term is slightly higher. I have highlighted in yellow the 2 different GPAs for the term. We really encourage students to take classes in a variety of areas or explore new areas when it comes to electives. Latte level should not be a primary consideration, but we want parents and students to have a basic understanding of how the Latte grading system works. The yellow registration sheet in your child's folder is the one form that needs to be completed and returned to the school. All other materials you may keep. As a reminder, 5 credits have already been selected for your student. These are the required credits, but they must select 3 credits worth of electives. Also remember that band and choir count as elective credit and you have to sign up for them if you plan to participate. The easiest way for us to view which classes your student wants to take is to simply highlight the name of the class on the form. If you don't have a highlighter, you may circle the class name. We have an example up here on the PowerPoint slide showing you how to highlight the course. On the back of your form is a spot for alternates. Alternates are backup courses you and your student would be happy taking if they were not able to get into their first choices. It's super important to list alternates. As ninth grade students, you will schedule last. Other students schedule before you, and it's possible courses will be filled by the time it's your turn to schedule. Please list alternates because otherwise I have to select courses for you if your first choices are full. List at least 2 alternates, but you are encouraged to list as many as you like. Hopefully now you have an idea of how and what courses to select for your student for next school year. So I'd like to just briefly address how the schedule works at the high school. At the high school, we have a block schedule. If you're not familiar with that, a block schedule means a student will typically have 4 classes per day that are about 84 minutes in length. Instead of trying to keep track of 7 or 8 classes, students are keeping track of 4 classes, and this is because they are in the classes for 84 minutes. The classes do not last the entire year. Instead of having English, for example, all year, students would have it half the year. Typically, students really enjoy a block schedule if they've never been on it before. It's easier to keep track of, and the longer class time really allows for classes with labs and activities to have more flexibility and time. For example, if a student's in art, they have time to get out their materials and use them. And in Phy-Ed, you have time to change and actually complete a game. In science, you might get instruction on a lab and complete the lab within the class. At the very end of our day, we also have something called warrior time. It's approximately 25 minutes in length. Your student will be assigned to a high school teacher for all 4 years of high school. This is their warrior time teacher. In this class will be students from multiple grade levels. It is the warrior time teacher's responsibility to check in with your student and see how they're doing academically, but also how they're doing in general at high school. Sometimes they might have work time like a study hall. Other times we have class meetings for groups or sports, and sometimes for the entire grade level. I'd like to take some time to go through some actual schedule examples with you. I think visually seeing the schedule is a great way to see how does the block actually work. The best way to read this is across the top we have the 4 blocks of the day and the times listed. On the left-hand side, I have the different terms and the dates they start in each month and how many weeks they last. Each square on this chart represents a half credit. So when you're looking at options for your student, if you want to write out examples, each half credit it's taking a square. So classes like English, History, Math, and Science are 1 credit, so they take up 2 squares, or Phy-Ed and Health are each a half a credit and only take up 1 square. In this example, we're looking at a student that is not taking band or choir. They have room to take 3 credits worth of electives. They can take a variety of 1 credit or half credit courses. In this next example, we're looking at a student that plans to take both band and choir. Band and choir are our only courses that do not last a full 84 minutes. They are each about 43 minutes in length. Band and choir are each worth 1 full credit. Each square, as you recall on this chart, represents a half credit. When we split that time in half, it's worth a quarter credit. So you can see band and choir, if I have it 4 quarter credits once each term, they still equal 1 full credit. This student has a chance to take one additional elective beyond band and choir. That could be 2 half credit classes or 1 full credit class. In this last example, we're looking at a choir-only student, but you could also use this chart as a band-only student. A band-only student would have band on the 1A side, where the choir student has it on the 1B side. Regardless if you're band-only or choir-only, you both have room to take 2 additional credits. This can be any combination of half credit or 1 credit classes. We do not have any study halls during the school day, so students are in class opposite of band or choir. I'd like to sincerely thank you for following along and listening to this presentation. Please make sure that the yellow registration form is back in the middle school office by Monday, the 15th. If your student has their form done ahead of time, we do encourage handing it in as soon as it is completed. If you have questions about any of the materials today, reach out to your student's assigned counselor. Again, last names A through K are Mrs. Ganji, and last names L through Z are Mrs. Kurtzals. We apologize that we were not able to be in person for this presentation and take your questions that way, but again, you can reach us by email or phone at any time. Thank you.